Political pundit Candace Owens just dropped some very interesting stuff from an anonymous source about this Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively debacle. Ryan Reynolds is the villain?
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? We've been following this whole thing that's been going on revolving around Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. And of course, Ryan Reynolds been thrown into this whole mix as well. And let me tell you something. It has been an absolute messy debacle. And everybody's sitting on the sidelines watching this whole train wreck go down in slow-mo and in 4K. But what's very interesting about this is that political pundit Candace Owens now has revealed some very interesting things from an alleged anonymous source. Again, we got to take this with a grain of salt because we don't know who this anonymous source is. I'm wondering if this particular source was properly vetted. I'm hoping that she did some cross-referencing, did some journalism work to make sure that this particular anonymous source is the real deal Holyfield. But like I said, this is a very interesting theory that people are now discussing out here in these streets. And we got to talk about this too, because this is a wild one. Not only is she saying this is stemming all from a jealous husband, but she's also saying that this man has done this in the past and this man is a psychopath. Yes, she's talking about Ryan Reynolds. Household name Ryan Reynolds. People love Ryan Reynolds. People enjoy his movies, etc. Now, some very interesting things are coming out, and she put this in her story on Instagram. This is insane, guys. So we got to take a look at this because this is nuts. But before I show you that, this is coming from another show, and it's like from the intro of her interview. And I just want you guys to hear this piece right here.
My show today is titled, "Is Ryan Reynolds the Real Villain?"
Now, here's the thing. There has been a theory, okay, running amok as of lately, wondering if Ryan Reynolds is the actual culprit or the reason why this whole thing is going down in the first place. Again, I've told you guys before in other shows and on this platform too, that, hey, could this be a situation where maybe there was some on-camera chemistry going on between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni? Ryan Reynolds saw it and got in his fees. Now, hold on. That's still a possibility. There could have been, there's so many different possibilities here, right? It's been absolutely, there's been a lot of questions and theories running around as of late revolving around this situation. But some people are wondering if this has to do with a jealous spouse, a jealous counterpart, because it just doesn't make any sense that these theories would be coming out. People would be saying these, or she would be coming out with these types of allegations in this type of fashion. But then again, like I said, anything is possible when it comes to what happened or what may or may not have happened. Let's not forget, when the cameras are not rolling, when the text messages are not being sent, there's a lot of things that are happening behind closed doors that maybe some people are not witness to, right? Like I said, just because we saw that B-roll of, those dailies of the filming on set on one moment does not mean that when the cameras weren't rolling, Justin Baldoni was acting a fool. And I can say the same thing about Blake Lively as well. I mean, to me, it almost feels like she's thinking in her mind, everyone's so into me. So anytime somebody says nice shoes, she's instantly saying, oh, he's so into me. That's the kind of vibe I've been getting with this whole situation. But then again, I could be absolutely wrong. Also, let's be real. The theory and the question is, could it be a situation where Justin Baldoni is just being the nice guy, just doing everything he can to get a great picture for this film, for this project, and Blake Lively maybe was attracted to him and then suddenly had to make things up to calm a possible jealous husband's mind? I don't know. Anything's possible, but let's take a look at this. This is crazy. All right. First off, she says there's no show. She's working on the Macron piece, which, if you've been following her investigation into that's been very, very interesting as well. But she says, but I've received some very interesting information or interesting, very information, some very interesting information for those of us who are invested in the Justin Baldoni v. Blake Lively debacle. Now, it says yesterday, I received a tip from someone who allegedly worked on the set of It Ends With Us. Lately, everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain in the saga is, drumroll please, Ryan Reynolds. Now, here's the thing. Before we go into the Ryan Reynolds piece, yes, ever since the dailies came out, yep, a lot of people are just taking her down. They're burying her 6 feet under. Understandably, it looks really, really bad. But like I said, we have to take everything with a grain of salt because at the same time, we got to remember what we saw on film does not mean that was 24 hours and for every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. It was one moment in time. And also at the same time, we do not know what it was like before, during, before, during, and after the filming of the entire doggone project. Just saying that out loud, okay? When the cameras are on, Justin Baldoni could have been an absolute saint. When the cameras were off and not rolling, he could have been an absolute monster. Let's not forget those possibilities are very much there. All right. But the culprit is Ryan Reynolds, just to remind you guys of that. Now, they say this person is alleging that everything started when Ryan Reynolds decided to stroll onto the movie set one day and review the dailies. Like I just told you, it's footage that is shot. Okay. This is an industry term for all footage that they filmed for that day or for the entire project. I learned this 5 minutes ago. So she's new to the technical term as well. He then also decided to take a look at the script, and between the two, something allegedly set him off. That's not good. Now, again, this person claims, and I cannot verify, that the production assistants then overheard Ryan and Blake having an argument in her trailer. So could it be that he saw something and he's like, whoa, there was a little twinkle in her eye? He felt some type of way about that? That's a possibility, right? Ryan Reynolds started being on set on a regular basis as if he were her chaperone. And that is when he started inserting himself into the actual production, including writing lines. This is allegedly quoted from an anonymous source. Now, let's talk about that really quick. They allegedly said that Ryan Reynolds wrote a scene or two in the movie. What's very interesting about that too, because if these claims are actually true, he wrote the scene where they first meet. It's like the meet cute moment, the first scene where they actually meet each other in this movie. Now, obviously, this is not a rom-com. This is a movie about DV and all that stuff. But obviously, there is a romance that starts in the very beginning in their relationship, or in the start of the movie when they start showing interest in each other, kind of thing. And it's a rooftop scene. And allegedly, Ryan Reynolds wrote that scene. And what's weird about that is if he penned that scene, then that could be very telling as well. Not only is he, maybe writing it because he just wanted some writing cred, but he could have been writing it to control the situation so that it wasn't too romantic. Or you see what I'm saying? Hey, keep your hands off my wife. You're going to do this, this, and this. You guys have this moment. There's chemistry. Boom. End of scene. Let's move on. Maybe that is the case. But then again, we got to take all of this with a grain of salt because, like I said, anonymous source. Who is this anonymous source? Is this person absolutely credible? That's what I'd like to know as well. But moving on, the next part is what has been alleged via their lawsuits. So Ryan and Blake, perhaps in response to husband's anger, began inserting themselves in an effort to change lines and change scenes, like I just said. But it gets better. Like we just discussed, that maybe he was changing things to, to appease his own mind, try to keep this movie not a lot of heavy petting, if you get what I'm saying, not highly sexual and all that stuff. That's very possible, okay? But moving on, it's clear Ryan was determined to humiliate and win against Justin Baldoni. He went so far as to include lines in his separate movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, about having an intimacy coordinator on set and making fun of Justin Baldoni's feminism and his podcast. Wow. This is what Justin's team is alleging. I looked at the scene and I think it's undeniably true. Let's see what I think the next clip here or the next story is the actual scene. Or maybe it's not. Hold on. It's coming up. Also, this is not the first time Ryan Reynolds has used his character to humiliate someone he didn't like. More evidence of that later. Wow. But Ryan then allegedly presented an ultimatum to WME, the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, whose client roster include everyone from Taylor Swift to actual Justin Baldoni. That's a big deal. It's us or it's him, paraphrasing Ryan Reynolds' alleged ultimatum to WME. So it was a him. Okay. It was him, Blake Lively, and did we mention our bestie is Taylor Swift? Sort of situation, allegedly. I don't know what that means exactly, but maybe, or did we mention our bestie is Taylor Swift sort of situation? Maybe that's what she's saying, allegedly. The source for this is a different source that would definitely know him. Okay. But like I said, I would like to know if this person's 110% vetted. But at the same time, I don't know. Candace Owens is Candace Owens. We're just going to ride with that for a second, okay? But moving on, I would imagine having Taylor Swift as your best friend and godmother to your children certainly helps in these sort of situations. Here's what happened next. So, Justin Baldoni dropped by WME in the wake of Blake Lively SH allegations. That is true. He was dropped. Once that lawsuit and all those allegations came out, he was dropped. Let's not forget that. Looks like Khaleesi Directions won until what Ryan Reynolds did not apparently account for was someone bigger or perhaps maybe just richer than Taylor Swift, who got unfairly dragged by his jealous bender. Interesting. Wayfarer Studios had effectively been instantly blackballed. Persona non grata in Hollywood instantly. And truly, they had done nothing wrong but cast a woman into one of their movies with an allegedly very jealous husband. My source says that Justin Baldoni is legitimately a good guy who truly wanted to do this project, but he cares deeply about women's issues. Wayfarer Studios was meant to be a feel-good family movie studio. Wayfarer Studios is backed by Steven Sarowitz, a super liberal billionaire who is at the point in his life where he just wants to do good. Okay, so I'm sure he donates a ton for a ton of causes that I hate. Well, it doesn't matter, but whatever. That's not the point of the story. Yeah, she still had to put in her bias in there, of course. How much money are we talking? Look at this. The city's billionaire doesn't plan to, I guess, die one. All right. So Sarowitz and his wife, Jessica, plan to give $1 billion to charity during their lifetimes and shutter the family foundation when they pass on. Very interesting. Same Steve. Can't wait to casually give away $1 billion before I pass too. That's the goal. Anyways, Wayfarer Do Good Studios being blacklisted because Ryan Reynolds is acting fake and gay. That doesn't even matter. Likely didn't sit well with him. Now, I will say this: Candace Owens has been trying to bring that word back, the GAY phrase back into the vernacular, just so you know. So again, I think she's using the GAY in a way of like fake and stupid, if that makes any sense. Fake and ridiculous. She may be making a dig at his sexuality. I don't know. Okay. But nonetheless, she's basically saying, you know, it's not sitting well with Wayfair. Let's move on. Here's what I think likely happened. My opinion. Ryan Reynolds is grossly insecure. This in part motivated by the fact that he dates and married he dates and married a woman that was at least over a decade younger than him. Okay. Correction, almost a decade. When he met Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson when she was only 20 years old. He was 28. When they got married and then divorced, she came very close to saying that it didn't work because of his, well, jealousy. ScarJo, without naming names, said the logistics of being with another actor are challenging. There has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people's careers are going at the same rate, or even if one person is more successful than the other. That also proves challenging. There may be a competitive thing. And again, this could very well be something about jealousy. And it's not only just jealousy of, oh, she's acting with this very attractive man. It could also just be because of success. Oh, you're getting all the big gigs. You're getting all these big studios calling you in, wanting to cast you in these particular parts. Me, I'm still trying to just get over the fact that I played the Green Lantern. Real talk. That could be it too. Or, hey, I'm still just doing stupid little rom-coms and I want to do big parts. I want the big stuff. I want to be that A-lister, that household name. I want to be what he has become now to this day, a household name. Ryan Reynolds, right? A-list actor. But this is very interesting. All right. With all of this information, when you reflect on how much Ryan inserted himself into the film and his weird pattern of quote unquote acting his personal frustrations out, the following clip is going to be really weird. Ryan did this to help promote It Ends With Us, and he brought in another A-list actor, Hugh Jackman. That's very interesting. Let's look at this.
Okay.
Oh, God.
This is cool. It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, now this is, by the way, I remember seeing this. I think we've all seen this. And we all looked at this and probably were laughing. Like, ha ha ha, this is hilarious. No, right? He's just being cute. But he's promoting his wife's movie. Well, maybe not now. Now when you see it in the way that Candace Owens has kind of written it out for us, this is a very interesting situation, don't you think? Very interesting. And very telling. Possibly very telling. Because he even says, oh, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it's not every day that you get to interview your wife's love interest in a movie. Oh, you're so, you know what I mean? And he keeps throwing out little digs like, you're so good looking, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he's using his insecurities for comedic sake or if he's just being funny because he thinks it would be a good idea and a good way to promote the movie. I don't know. I leave that up to you. But the way that Candace Owens is dressing it up, diggity damn. But moving on, okay? It even says here, Ryan Reynolds doesn't hide his jealousy over Blake Lively. This is crazy, but let's move on. All right, so we saw that clip. Imagine being Justin Baldoni in the midst of all the drama that we now know was happening behind the scenes. Well, let's just say allegedly happening behind the scenes. Blake's husband then decides to create a quote-unquote funny skit with another one of his A-list buddies to promote your film. As I said, this was about Humiliation. Interesting. Ryan Reynolds has been accused of this sort of, shall we call it, character A, because we got to use these code words, in the past. In other words, he pretends he's acting, but he's not really acting all. I think she's saying he's not really acting at all. All right. Let's take a look at what a Deadpool character had to say about him.
A really weird moment on Deadpool where he said, let's do one more take. And everyone was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me, but to me,
Cathartic.
as if I'm Weasel.
Right.
So he was like, you know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you just, you do just enough exposition that it's funny, and then we can leave and get back to the real movie.
So he's riffing.
Well, he's right.
Obviously.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's exactly why he said that.
How much riffing?
Because I'm not funnier than he is at all. Right? And I haven't been in more movies than him. Yeah.
What's interesting about this is, this is very interesting, but let TJ Miller finish what he got to say.
Agitate the guest, Brian. How much riffing was done?
A lot. And he's a great improviser.
And how much of it made the cut?
A lot of it. And then the stuff that they kept and you see in the reel, it's a lot of it is what he's doing. I'm riffing. Also the two, the writers were so incredible. But that's what's...
Hold on. Now, one thing is for sure. When it comes to TJ Miller got himself into some serious trouble as well for various things that I'm not going to dive into right now. But he kind of got written off out of the movies because of the backlash of things that he's done in the past. That's one thing that's for sure. The other thing I do want to point out, and this is just for, I'm not trying to defend anybody. Well, I'm sitting on the fence. We're looking at both sides here, right? But one thing is for sure about Ryan Reynolds' situation or the Deadpool situation. Deadpool breaks the fourth wall all the time. In fact, he goes beyond breaking the fourth wall. He will still even make jokes at the expense of the actual actor, not just going after, TJ Miller's character. He's actually making fun of the actual actor himself as well. Right. So same thing, like if you watch Deadpool or Deadpool and Wolverine, if you watch that movie, you can see him making jokes about Hugh Jackman's divorce, Hugh Jackman's career, all that stuff. He's making jokes not only just at Wolverine, but he goes to another level and is making jokes at the actual actor. You see what I'm saying? So this part, he's still playing. He's still playing Wade Wilson. He's still playing Deadpool. So this piece, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's very, it's questionable. But let's continue.
What went south in that moment? Did you react to it?
I just kind of listened and thought it was weird, and then I got off stage because then they finally were like, cut. And then I got off stage and I walked over, and the whole crew was acting weird. And then I went up to Kate and I was like, that was weird, right? And she was like, of course it was fucking weird. It was insane.
Now, again, I don't know. Like that's something that I'm kind of curious about for sure. Definitely curious about, and we're going to have to look at this more on the main channel in a little bit. But let's continue on. My final thoughts, I think Ryan Reynolds is unhinged. Dun, dun, dun. Let's continue on. I think Blake Lively, it was fine with everything in the movie she signed on for, hence not requesting an intimacy coordinator. And then all that changed the day her husband showed up on set and allegedly blew a fuse. Ryan maybe sensed real chemistry between them on camera when he reviewed the dailies and he felt insecure because, well, Ryan Reynolds himself tends to fall in love on set. Yeah, I mean, he met Blake on the set of Green Lantern. That's where they first met. So I don't know. But that's how he met both ScarJo. Oh, snap. That's how he met both ScarJo, Scarlett Johansson, and Blake Lively, meeting them both on set. That's not good. That's no bueno. That's an interesting observation. Okay. So he tried to peacock Justin Baldoni, all right, who is objectively more attractive than Ryan Reynolds. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I leave that up to you guys. But peacocking, I feel like maybe he was trying to, you know what I mean? I guess peacock could be the right term. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to, puff off his chest and be like, back off, right? By injecting himself in every layer of the movie, from the script to the promos, and reminding Justin who the A-lister is. That's why Ryan was there every step of the way. And I sensed it was him that demanded Justin to be put in the basement for the premiere. Yeah, I mean that's something that's also interesting. Like, hey, I need you over here. You're gonna stay over there, and that's exactly where you're gonna be, right? I don't want to see you. We don't want to see your presence at all because I don't want to see that chemistry in real life as well. Maybe that's what it is too. Blake, in my view, was not discomforted by Justin, but by her husband. And she had to pretend to see things his way. The situation has now spiraled out of control. And at the center of it is a small man. Wow. Ryan Reynolds with a fragile ego. Wow. He feels inappropriate or feels appropriate to end this by saying, you know you love me, XOXO, Gossip Girl. Now, this is okay. Again, there's still a little bit more here, but this is very, like I said, this is interesting, y'all. This is some crazy stuff. But and the theory is not 110%. I don't see it being off. It's a theory. It's not off. Okay, it's not an off theory, but we have to remember it's still a theory because this anonymous source is still an anonymous source. Okay, but let's continue on. Also, in case you haven't seen the Wolverine and Deadpool scene where Ryan Reynolds is taking a stab at Justin Baldoni, here you are. To note, in Blake's complaint, which we should maybe start referring to as Ryan's complaint, she mentions that Justin made a comment to her, trainer about her postpartum weight. Wow. Now that's interesting. Let's take a look.
Well, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist. Right.
Wow. Now you saw that. Woo! Okay. Also, if you have an insider scoop on what happened, she's like, okay, email me, please. All right. I promise I'll keep it all anonymous. Okay. Okay. And then some people retweeting some things. Then she's making some garlic oil. Okay. Some oil. All right. Okay. Just one more thing about Ryan Reynolds potentially being a psychopath. And then I promise I'm going to bed. She had time today. Tim Miller, the director of the original Deadpool, the first Deadpool, okay? He's the original, he's the director of that movie, okay? So it says here, Tim Miller, just like Justin Baldoni, was a director of a film called Deadpool, the original one, okay? It was the original Deadpool film in which Ryan Reynolds was cast as the lead role and given a producer credit. You'll never guess what happened. It says here, despite Miller's significant contribution to Deadpool's success, he left the franchise due to creative differences with Ryan Reynolds, who played the lead role and produced the movie. According to him, the actor wanted to control the franchise. Interesting. That's very interesting. That doesn't automatically mean, anything diabolical, but at the same time, it could mean something. It could mean something. All right. Yep. Our neighborhood psychopath pushed him out of the movie. It's Ryan. He's the villain. Wow. I'm suddenly so nervous for Blake. This is like a clinical pattern of behavior. Ryan Reynolds reportedly wants to buy out Justin Baldoni from It Ends With Us at any cost. What? He's reportedly looking forward to buying Justin Baldoni out of It Ends With Us if it means that his beloved Blake Lively gets to reprise her role for the sequel of the hit movie. What in the what? That's insane. Now, that's new information that I didn't even know, okay? That he was trying to buy out Justin Baldoni, being like, I need you as far away from this movie. If we're making a sequel, I need you as far away from this movie. We're going to take over because we want this movie to go this way. We don't want it to go the way you have it going. And stop touching my wife. That's pretty much what it seems like now, right? With this whole narrative that's being dressed up in front of us, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, please know that your man showing up at work with his A-list homies, trying to buy the company you work for while starting fights with your boss is not the definition of love. There is nothing romantic about controlling A. Wow. Okay, guys. This Okay, first off, pretty crazy stuff. All right. The fact that she's saying that Ryan Reynolds is the villain is something else. She's saying this is the man who did all of this. He is the reason why all of this is going down. And I even said it too in a past show. Could it possibly be that she's filing this to appease her husband? That maybe she said something that made him feel some type of way, or he saw something that made him feel some type of way, to the point where she's like, no, baby, no. In fact, no, there's no chemistry. In fact, he's just been all over me. He's been after me since day one. He's so obsessed with me. I don't get it, babe. I don't get it. When in actuality, Justin Baldoni has been absolutely innocent and not doing anything wrong. Things are just being taken out of context and lost in translation in a way. That's very possible. But then again, at the same time, anything's possible when it comes to this situation. And I'm going to ask you guys, what say you on this? Because this is some serious, this is a serious theory, and it's a serious allegation for anyone, even Candace Owens, to be just dropping like it's hot out here in these streets. Again, we got to take it with a grain of salt. She could be absolutely right, or she could be 110% wrong. But the fact that she is saying he's the villain, he's a psychopath, is pretty wild to me. That theory is a solid theory, especially when you see all the things put together. But again, this could be written in 15 different angles, and it still would seem like a possibility, like a possible angle. But what say you guys? What say you? Do you believe it? Do you think she's right? Do you think she's completely off? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. And most definitely, show some love. Whatever. You know what I mean. All right? We'll be talking soon. Be good yourselves. Be good to one another. This is crazy. Oh, man. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.